How's everybody doing tonight? Happy 15 December, 10 days till Christmas. My name is Chris. Welcome to Fire for Effect Live. Tonight I have some very special guests who are launching a podcast tomorrow. They're all excited about it. You're going to get to talk to them in a second. I'm moving my chair again. I knew I shouldn't have used this fucking chair. I have Tara Graves and Tina Boggess, who I'm going to bring up right now. There they are, two lovely ladies.
Hello.
They look great. I'm wearing a fucking Kid Rock concert shirt, so I obviously didn't follow my own dress code. How are you guys doing tonight?
Good. How are you?
Good. Let's
Doing
see
great.
who we have on. Nobody yet. Perfect. So no one's watching this yet. They might be on Twitter, so don't think
Okay.
nobody's watching.
Well, thanks for
Chat.
having us.
Thank you
Yes,
for being
thank you.
here.
Yeah, we appreciate it.
So let's get into this show you guys are launching tomorrow. It's called the TNT Podcast. That's not it. I'm doing well here. That's better. Launching Thursday,
Mhm.
December 16th, for those of you that are listening to this after the fact. The TNT Podcast. If you haven't figured out, that's Tarantina.
Tarantino show.
The Tarantina Show. I had the privilege to preview this multiple times. We'll get into that later. It's awesome. I'm really excited. I'm learning more and more about what we're going to get into with these two lovely young ladies, and we're going to dive right in. So my theme tonight, 1988, Colin James, who's a Canadian recording artist, released a song called Chicks and Cars in the Third World War, and that's what we're going to talk about tonight. So I'm going to give Tarantina the floor to kind of speak to what the show is about. First of all, we'll get them to introduce themselves, and then we'll dive into what the show is all about. And if you haven't figured out the little hint there with chicks and cars, well, you're about to. Tara, you want to
Yes.
go first?
Sure.
Okay, go nuts.
My name is Tara Graves, and I live in Ontario, Canada. I've really only been drag racing since late 2016, early 2017. Always loved fast cars, but kind of got away from it for a while and met up with some amazing people, and that told me that I could take my car to the drag strip, and I was shocked, excited, and said, yeah, let's do this. So at the time I had an RT, a Challenger RT manual, just V8, and that's what I learned on, which was really tough to learn, but I'm glad that I did because it taught me a lot. But then I was too slow, and I was tired of being at the back of the pack. So I traded it in and bought a Hellcat. And talk about a dream. Just unbelievable. I went from doing 13.1 and a quarter mile to, I think, 10.8 was my first pass, and I got down to a 10.6. Just the most amazing adrenaline rush you could ever imagine. And that's my zen. I actually didn't get to go last season. I kind of took a break there. So hopefully in the spring I'll get back at it, and looking forward to it.
And I got a ton of questions. I already fucked up and forgot the sponsors, so I'll do them when I'm done.
If they're technical, ask Tina.
So Tina, now before we dive in here, Tina, I understand you're a mom.
Yes, I'm a mom of 4.
Mom of 4. So do you have a minivan?
Yes. No, I do not have a minivan. I have a
Okay,
Hellcat.
so that means somebody lied to me. Okay, give me a second here because I was told you had a minivan, and we happen to have a video of you taking the kids home from school. So I'm going to roll this for everybody.
Yeah, boy.
So that
Cool. That is literally how they want to go to school every day and be picked up every day. Yeah.
I would too.
Well, leading up to 4 kids, give everybody, introduce yourself to everybody. Give us your background.
I'm Tina Boggess. Yeah, I'm Tina Boggess from West Virginia in the United States. I raced many years ago. probably 25 years ago. And then took a little break, just didn't build cars for a little while. And then I've had a couple of Hellcats, and I recently, last year, got back into the racing in the drag strip. And again, Tara talks about the group of people. Tara and I met through this group of drag racing. It's been a lot of fun. My kids enjoy it. So it's a family activity. And they're my pit crew. And I actually made T-shirts for them that list them as the crew chief and the manager, so that they feel, special. It's been a great year. The only thing negative about this year is that Tara hasn't been able to join us due to COVID and the border closing and everything. So
Yeah, that's reopening soon. So thank you for
yes.
that. I got a million questions. I guess the first one is, how did you guys get into this? Like, rewind me back. Like, how do you go from, like, I drive really fast. What I think is a fast truck. It's a 6.2 Chevy.
Mhm.
It's not fast compared to what you guys are driving. So you're sitting around, mother of four, you're doing macrame, whatever, right? How do you go, you know what? Fuck this, I'm going to get a Durango and I'm going to try to do 9 seconds. Like, how do you get to that?
Well, because when you go fast, you just always want to go faster. That's the problem with drag racing.
I get that for sure.
You want to go faster. So I bought the Durango, and the Durangos weigh 5,700 pounds, by the way. So stock, they run, I think I never ran mine stock, because why leave it stock? That doesn't make sense. You can't leave it stock. So
Hell yeah.
so I think they run in the 12s probably. And I told Scott, my builder, and that I wanted to run 9s, and he made it happen. So my Durango runs in the 9s at 5,700 pounds.
Wow.
The fastest pass has been 983 and a quarter, about 139, 140 miles per hour.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And let's give me a second here. I got a picture of this bad boy.
And it was the first in the 9s.
That's it?
In the world.
It.
So it looks like you
it.
just stole it off a lot, right? You know, you go to a car dealership and they got shit written on the windows.
Yeah, right. We just write numbers on the windows. Yes, it has been so much fun. Yes, it was the first Durango in the 9s, like Tara said. There's a couple of others now that are running that fast, but we've had a lot of fun waiting on spring to come so we can. You always want to beat your time, so
always.
Now I have to go faster than 983. So
always, yeah.
So here's my next question. You don't have to answer, but I imagine there's a and Tara, you can jump in with this too. So actually, we'll come to that in a second. So Tara, you decided, you gave us a brief background, and I got a wicked picture. You wasting money on burning your tires up. Look at that.
Yeah, that's money going up in the air right there.
What did that cost to do that? Because we do burnouts on motorcycles, and I know what those tires cost. I can't even imagine what that shit costs.
A lot. But you get quite a few passes out of a set, really. Like, if I went every weekend, I should get a season out of a set. But because I didn't go every weekend, they last me a little bit longer. But yeah, they're not cheap. But you got to have them, because a lot of the events you go to, they don't want street tires on that track. So you've got to have the proper setup.
So let's walk me through, and you don't have to answer. You can use arbitrary numbers. How much money are you guys into this? Because it feels like it's not fucking cheap. I know all these mods and shit I want to do to my truck. I'm like, nah, I don't have money for that.
I try to block that shit out.
Yeah. We don't talk about that. No,
we
forget those numbers.
Even know, like, to purchase the car alone is astronomical.
So do you buy it? Okay, let's change the question. Do you buy it stock and then like go down to Billy Bob's, Dodge dealership, buy it stock and then completely tear it down and rebuild it? Or do you buy it within the, let's call it the drag racing community off
You
other
can.
guys?
You
Like
can
how
buy
does that
a
work?
car
I don't
that way.
have a fucking clue. So I'm very curious as to how that works.
Well, like Tina, like both of us bought ours originally stock, and that's what most people do. And
Okay.
then they start. They'll go to a performance shop and start adding goodies to make it go faster. And the great thing about Hellcats is you can do so many things to them, and yeah, they're incredible cars. We're gonna do a whole show on why the Hellcat's so cool, because it really is.
Yeah.
Doesn't a
with the-
Hellcat go like fast enough already?
To some, I guess maybe.
yes.
If you're not in that world, I guess. I mean, yes, no doubt. I mean, wasn't it the fastest production at one time, Tina?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, it was.
So
That changes like every 2 weeks when a new whatever Mustang comes out or something.
yeah.
So Tina, I rented a Durango GT and I thought that thing was the shit. Clearly yours is a little bit better.
It's a little bit faster. Just
Or
a
did
little
you
bit.
buy yours stock or did
I did. I bought mine stock. And the thing about the Hellcats is like Tara bought her stock as well. The Hellcats start with 707 horsepower just from factory. So the mods that we have done are really they're referred to as bolt-ons. Like we're not tearing the engine apart
Yeah.
to make them faster. We're changing pulleys and tuning them, and then you have to like Tara probably changed her drive shaft. I would think I had to change my axles. You just have to do a few mods to hold up to the extra horsepower that you're putting onto them. But the Hellcats they're fast from factory. So you basically can get in the nines with bolt-on parts and tunes.
Okay.
So
And I'm not so insecure as to not ask a woman how to improve my vehicle because I'm hoping you get these questions when you guys do your live show because I will be asking them. So I'm going to put you under the bus, so to speak now. Like your average guy buys a fucking, say a Ram or whatever, and then goes and buys a catback exhaust and a cold air intake and some programmer and thinks they're going to get this giant horsepower gain. Like to me, it feels like bullshit. Like help. What do you guys think about that?
You'd have to put a little more than Tina, like
right. The cold air intakes help as far as airflow a little bit, but it's not all the power that they think they're going to get. And also on the newer vehicles, the tuners out of the box, that they buy doesn't give them very much extra horsepower. So.
Yeah, you'd have to, and the cold air intake. I mean, I've got one.
Right.
I don't think it gives. I mean, well, ours gives us awesome sound. We've got that. The whine to it, right?
It feels
that the leg
like
maker does.
It like from what I understand, and I know guys who know cars and run fast cars and shit, and they're like, look, the claimed horsepower you get from all these guys that are selling all the shit on Amazon or wherever it may be is not fucking realistic. A cold air intake by itself, maybe 2 horsepower, 3. Fuck, I don't know.
Right.
Yeah,
right?
I don't know what they actually say it is. It's not noticeable.
Oh, when you read it, like if I drop in a can and air filter and put in a Flowmaster or whatever the fuck exhaust.
Oh yeah, you can get that Canadian Tire, right?
Yeah, Canadian Tire. Put on some chrome stickers, and that's 5 horsepower right there.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's all a bunch of bullshit. So it'd be very, very interesting to hear what you guys have to say. Actually, people who have a lot of money invested into do we consider it a sport? Feels like we do.
Yeah. I mean,
it's a sport.
Yeah, it's a sport.
If fucking creative dancing is a sport in the Olympics, this is a sport.
Yeah,
Like,
this is a sport.
You gotta have some testicular fortitude to do what you guys are doing. How many oh, by the way, for those of you that are watching, and go back to the chat group. Sorry if I'm looking away from time to time. I'm running the whole operation here.
Oh yeah, I see. There's Brad say, "Don't ask me about electric vehicles."
No, we're not going to get into Teslas. I know you guys get all pissy when we start talking about those. These ladies are purists. You're the first women I've had on the show, and I'm glad that you are.
Oh wow, that's cool.
Yeah,
it's very cool. Thank you.
Thank you.
How many women are in the sport?
Many were in
like, I don't know.
Not many in Canada. There are a few of us, but in the States, it's much more opportunity, much more, and sponsorship and stuff like that.
I feel like women are more involved every year. It just seems like I can count probably 10 women that are involved in the little series that Tara and I try to race with. So I feel like more women every year.
Yeah, it'd be great to get more and more, you know, especially where I live. It's, you know, you talk to somebody about it, they look at you like you got 3 heads. It's really not a popular thing here in this country.
Yeah, I know nothing about it. I know it's cool. I know a couple of guys that have their own NASCAR cars, and I know guys that run amateur smash up derby. That's about it. What about
Tina used to tractor pull.
Fucking, I love her already.
She's amazing. I'm telling you.
Redneck shit right there.
Oh yeah.
I love truck pulls.
Oh yeah.
Oh man. Yeah. Tina, you're a gem.
Yeah.
How many races do you do a year?
You did quite a few this season.
I did quite a few this season. Yeah. Probably try to make it to about 10. And I'm really hoping that Tara gets to make quite a few of those next year.
Hopefully.
I'm just going to have to come up there and kidnap her, I guess.
Yeah, get me across.
Damn,
get me out of here.
Right.
Is 10 like, what's the norm? What's the mean average per year that most people, and really generalize here, how many, you know what I mean? Like, how many does your average person do in a year?
It depends too, like on the events and the series that Tina's really involved in, that I'd love to be more involved in. I think they run 7, possibly 8 races throughout the series. And here, we might only, I mean, you can go and do test and tune every weekend if you want, but I prefer to go to the private track rentals because there's less people and you get more opportunity. You might get more passes in. There isn't, you know, as many people. But, you know, they might only do those here there might be one once a month, something like that.
Okay, so whoops.
But I could go every weekend to a test and tune if I wanted to. But.
Yeah, there's racetracks down here that, of course, race every weekend. So there are people, I'm sure, that start whenever the track's open, maybe April, and race through October every weekend. Where I don't have enough time to do that. It would be great if you could, but I don't have enough time with 4 kids and working. Yeah. That's a lot. And it's a lot of expense because, you know, it's not just building the car, it's your fuel and transportation and
it's a lot of travel and expense. And even for me to drive to the track from here, I'm 2 hours. We've only got maybe 3 in, you know, that I can get to 2 hours one way. So even the fuel, you know, because for me, I drive the Hellcat to the track, run it at the track and change out the tires and drive it home.
So how much maintenance or under the hood time is spent between races? A little bit?
Not much for me, probably a little bit
for you. Probably when you stay closer to stock, not as much, but when you try to make them faster and faster, you of course need to check out everything after each race. Make sure you didn't break anything first of all, but of course change your oil, check it out, make sure no metal is in it, which would be bad.
Yeah. You're running that engine fucking hard, and the drivetrain is just getting pushed to its absolute limit. So, I imagine you
just
got to run it
call.
from front to back to make sure everything is good to go prior to the next race. So,
Yeah.
Yes.
yeah, I guess that's the point I'm trying to make is that if you do 10 races a year during the season, it's the in between time, making sure it's ready to go for the next one is a
Right.
bunch of time in itself, right?
Yeah. Keep your
Correct.
eye on your tire tread, see how much you've got left. You know, you don't want to get down so far because it wouldn't be too good. And yeah.
Check your belts on your pulleys and stuff like that to make sure that
So,
there's nothing
Everything's
breaking.
tight.
Yes.
so you have a routine maintenance cycle. Okay, got it. Cool.
Basically.
Well, I don't want to steal everything from this part of the show, but as I understand it, there's going to be a little more to the show than kick-ass, super fast Mopar. So what does that look like? And I'll let you guys kind of, this is it. You're going to talk about a wide open array of topics.
Yes, we are. Yeah, we want to mix it up. Tina and I are both just really real people, and life is life. So we didn't just want to talk about drag racing. We kind of wanted to mix it up a little bit and just talk about life, relationships, dating, sex. We've got somebody coming on that had a nightmare neighbor, you know, just the worst of the worst, and just all kinds of different interesting content. Yeah, sexologist coming on in January, right, Tina? Yeah, and yeah,
So
just
for everybody out
all
there,
different.
what's a sexologist?
Yeah, I mean, she's a sexologist and a sex therapist, and are they two different things? We don't know. So that's one of the things I want to ask. Lots of questions for her. Yeah, so we just want to mix it up and just keep it real and just talk about real life stuff.
Yeah, I don't know what a sexologist is. I didn't even know that was a thing. So you brought it
Yeah,
up.
exactly.
I didn't either.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we will learn.
And
Yeah, we're gonna have.
You think a sex therapist is different? Like, if you're going to that, it feels like you got a problem.
Well, I want to know too. Like, what's the number one reason people are showing up? Why do you make an appointment? Like, what do they do? So yeah, it'll be really interesting, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna cover lots of stuff. Just trying to think. We're gonna have a guy on from New Zealand, a friend of mine that was involved in a mass shooting there in New Zealand, and not all heroes wear capes, so we're going to have him on. Yeah, just lots of really good stuff, interesting stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, that's good. That's. I'm still stuck on the sexologist thing. I apologize.
Yeah. Hey, I mean, I know, right? Lots of questions, really.
Can you take that at your local community college or university?
Yeah. It's a degree. She's got a PhD. It's so yeah, we'll have lots of questions. It'll be interesting. Yeah. We just want to keep it real and talk about all kinds of stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm gonna introduce you to my man, Bryce Hooper.
Hey, Bryce.
Hi, Bryce.
Right? Bryce is actually a sexologist.
Yeah.
I'm
Tell us about that.
Sorry.
Fucking not.
What?
I might take myself as a little bit of an amateur level, but I wouldn't say a sexologist. Doesn't that?
I'm pretty sure they got a fucking correspondence course you can take, man.
Wouldn't that be something? There's something there. Your exit strategy from the military,
right?
I have
You
so many questions.
You missed all the cool shit with the cars and everything, and we were talking about Tina's minivan and picking the kids up at school and everything.
All right.
Oh, that's my last question for you ladies on the cars, and we'll go back to sexology. What's your day driver?
My Durango is a daily driver as well.
Wow.
It can be, but I have a truck. Yeah.
Okay.
It's got a beautiful truck.
Is it a Ram?
Yeah, of course.
Of course.
Of
I used to have a
course.
Ram. I had a Ram.
Yes.
1500. Loved it.
Yeah.
Tara, what are you driving?
My dad's 2007 Dodge Ram right now because the Hellcat's in storage for the winter. So that's kind of my backup vehicle.
Give me a second, Bryce. Entertain these people, please. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Apple will not fucking give up.
Okay, go.
Well, I actually drive a Ram 1500.
Nice.
Okay.
Nothing special though, by any means. Nothing like that Hellcat. What kind of power does that kind of entertain in the summertime?
What kind of power?
Yeah,
707.
you
For
can go
me,
sideways.
Tina's got more.
I have no idea how much power mine has because
You
we
know, I
didn't put it
wonder.
on we did not put it on the dyno. I get that
Sure.
question a lot. Everybody's
Yeah,
like,
I
how much
wonder.
power are you making now? And I'm like,
Good
I don't-
news.
enough.
The beer showed up.
Oh, good.
Oh, okay.
I think the beer
Nice.
guy just got here. That's why my phone was blowing up.
Nice.
Oh,
Where's
Sean.
Fonzie? Isn't he going to catch in the door?
He is, but the guy actually, I put a sign up as a test that says, do not ring the doorbell, recording in progress,
Okay.
send me a text. And this fucking guy actually read it. So it worked.
Nice.
Great.
I just assumed everybody would like ignore it and push the doorbell anyway.
Yeah.
That's why I stepped out. Okay, I'm distracted now. Where do we leave off? Horsepower, sex, what, where?
Super
Help me
fast
out.
cars and beautiful accents. Yeah.
Oh,
Love
she's got that southern drawl, man. It's a western.
Have a touch of
Got a
accents.
drawl. You know what?
Just a little bit.
It
Just a
just
I
little.
love it.
Tara's got that Ontario chick accent.
We have an accent?
You do, and so do I, right? And all my friends from Ontario, especially the women, the men, not so much, but every chick I know from Ontario has the same accent as you.
Well, I know the Americans think we say about funny.
A boot. They think we say a boot.
Yeah.
Oh,
Because
guys
you do.
You guys have to do a fucking bit on that. Like the whole, really got to dive into the American Canada.
It's a good dynamic for her and I because there's a
Right.
lot of different things that are different.
Like
I mean,
right now, the entire country of the United States of America is my favorite reality show. Like it is like fucking wow.
You guys
Yeah.
are like the people who live above the apartment that has meth heads in it or something. Yeah.
It's different. Yeah, we're like the family that's going
In our
"Did you see our
igloos."
new neighbors.
The new neighbors above the Chinese restaurant that you know very well is like the one on 118, the pizza place that was just busted in Edmonton for selling meth. And
There you go, Tina.
See?
yeah,
Like I have alternative TV, if you will. I don't want to say anything. How I get my TV. So all I get is American channels, which includes American commercials. Where normal cable up here, you just get Canadian.
It's crap.
And every American commercial is about how to fucking sue somebody or some
Right.
medication that cures depression, yet one of the 8,000 side effects is suicidal thoughts or depression. It's like,
yeah.
wow, that's pretty wild, man.
Wow, at least we're blessed.
Have
in
to
Canada.
list everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I wish we
they
could
have
get
to list-
commercials like what they have for antidepressants for what they have for cannabis access right now too, medically in Canada. That would be amazing. You could actually see people walking through parks and enjoying themselves with life, whereas with these antidepressant or these other big pharma company commercials, you always find that they are a little bit faker than what they lead on.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
weed's legal everywhere here now, and they didn't fuck around, man. There's a weed store every 8 feet.
Yeah,
Typical
it's like
strip mall in
Starbucks.
Canada, Tina, for your reference, the typical strip mall in Alberta, anyway, typically looks like this. There is a adult video store, a daycare, a weed store, and some shithole pub.
And a liquor shop of
And
some
a
kind
liquor
of
store. And a liquor store.
yeah.
Like
Is
every
it-
strip mall.
Is it legal in West Virginia, Tina?
No, not yet.
Not
they're
yet.
trying to pass it.
Are they trying to? Yeah.
How many
Is there a
states
medical
is it
access
legal?
program at all?
I'm sorry, what?
In West Virginia, is there a medical access program? Because that usually
Yes.
comes before. Yeah. Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So you
Medical, yes, but not completely.
Right.
Oh, gotcha. I
Yes.
wish they would just pass that and go right to a federal access point, because there's a couple really cool states that are doing some pretty good things right now.
Right.
And not just with a cannabis perspective, but like there's a lot of psychedelics that are starting to go big across all of the states, several counties and provinces, or whatever you want to call it. But they've all kind of chosen to go after not just your cannabis access, but other mushrooms like what Chris enjoys. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
The microdose.
None of what you kids at home want to be doing while you're running a fucking Durango down a strip to do 9 seconds.
We don't need any drugs.
Yeah,
that is our drug.
That's
our drug.
Yeah.
We don't have money for drugs.
No,
we do not have money for drugs. It goes into building our vehicles.
That's right. That's right.
Those parts are expensive as it is.
The adrenaline that lets out is just, it's incredible, really.
So it's winter time everywhere. What do you guys do to those cars? What are you doing over the winter to prepare for the next race season? I'm done with the sexologist for now. I will tune in when that fucking person's on. So I'm still stuck on all this racing.
We'll let you know.
Yeah. Because all that I can't that I'm thinking in my head is there an internship to become a sexologist? How does that work?
Yeah, how does that work? like a co-op.
When do you have this person on? Because I'm totally gonna watch this.
How are you gonna get your hours in?
How many hours do you have to have?
You can go to a local website with that kind of a pass, or does that come with government funding? Or
right,
there's got to be a GI Bill for that in the States.
Volunteer hours.
I would love to see something like that in Canada go for veteran access.
Oh, they'd never do that.
No. Oh man.
No.
Yeah, I walked right into that conversation at some point.
Right.
Yeah, you jumped in at the right time.
Yeah. How did that come up?
So back to the original question about over the winter.
So Tina, it's winter time. What are you doing with that Durango other than taking the kids to school at 140 miles an hour in like 8 seconds?
Well, I took the drag radials off and put regular tires back on so that I can drive back and forth to school. And that's all I'm doing this winter. It doesn't need any upgrades. I don't have anything that I want to change. So it's just putting the regular tires back on and back to school bus duty.
And how old's your youngest?
12.
Oh, okay. I was praying.
I have twins. Yeah, that are 12. Yeah.
You've got patience of a saint then, obviously.
She's amazing.
I was praying for a picture of you with the helmet on at the lights, revving it up, and there's a fucking baby seat in the back of that Durango. This shit. But that's not going to happen. So
no.
Okay, so when it's time, how old's your oldest?
22.
And is there a middle kid learning how to drive?
No, I have a 22 and a 19-year-old, and they both are driving, of course. And yes, they've driven the Hellcats.
Wow! So this is really a family thing.
It really is. Yes,
that's awesome.
They are into the cars, and yes, there's lots of parents and lots of adults that are like, "You give these kids the Hellcat?" Yes, I do, because one, you teach them to respect the power. They know that they can get hurt if they mess around.
Yeah.
And of course, everybody's like, "Oh, you're naive. They're going to go out and play in front of their friends." They're not, because they're scared of the car and they're more scared of me.
Right.
Because they know.
Exactly.
They're more scared of their mother because they know what will happen if they act badly in the Hellcat. So they drive. And then 12-year-olds are, we have go-karts and dirt bikes and stuff like that. My 12-year-old son is an amazing driver. He goes out and I'll hear one of them a vehicle start up, and he's just moving them around or doing whatever outside. He's a terrific driver at 12 years old. So.
Oh man, I couldn't imagine my 13-year-old behind the wheel right now.
That's awesome.
It's not for every kid.
Yeah.
All right.
It's
so-
not for every kid.
Yeah.
I,
No
I,
doubt.
Wow.
I would
No
not. My older son probably. Well, no, my older son at 12 years old probably not. But Chase is different. He's really good.
He loads up the Durango, straps it in right on the trailer, helps
Oh
you do
yeah,
all that stuff to get it ready
he does
to
everything.
tow.
Yeah, yeah.
Wow.
And
So
they love
Tina-
going to the track. So.
Tina, what are you doing over the winter with your ride?
Me?
Sarah.
Yeah.
So nothing really. It's stored away right now. It's not too far. I could go and visit it if
Sorry,
I
Tara.
wanted to. But that's okay.
Too many T's. You got a sport, so you're not gonna like upgrade it. You're not on Amazon looking for cheap Chinese fucking transmissions.
No. I'm just hoping I can get to the States and at some point, for next season. I would love to get into the nines, and I know how I could get into the nines, but it just depends how often I can go too, right? Like to put the money out
Yeah,
to
everything's
do it.
money.
It's a lot.
Right.
I mean,
Everything's money,
just
but it
buying
feels
the darn
like,
things is expensive. Yeah.
So when's the season start? There's Mr. Morgan Warren. And if you guys want to know, if you haven't watched this show,
Oh, you got to show them. You got to show them.
yeah, if you look at Morgan's
Look, my beautiful background.
look at his setup. That's pretty
Awesome.
fucking. He's
Pretty
got a
badass.
webcam. He's got a webcam from 1974, but we're working on that. This is where he actually is sitting.
And everybody confirm it looks good, right?
Yeah.
Hey man, whatever works.
Right?
Yeah. That's got to be the most comfortable spot in the seat, man.
It does, right?
Oh,
Sure, you
need
probably
one
do
of-
all your reading.
he needs
Exactly.
one of those fucking hemorrhoid donuts. Okay, awesome. So I'm going to give you ladies the floor here. Plug whatever you want, just so everybody knows that the TNT podcast episode 1 drops tomorrow. And they're going to be going live, and I don't know when. So let's
Sorry.
let you guys. What the hell
Uh,
is that?
Yeah, we're going to go live our second show, January 6th. We're going to talk about drag racing, kind of like Drag Racing 101. We're going to have Gary Rudy on, a friend of ours, to go through all that and help us out. We're on Instagram, Twitter, YouTube. You can check out our channel there. And after I upload, I guess tomorrow, everything will be available. And yep, there's our handle there on the screen. Yeah, so we're super excited, nervous. It's kind of scary at the same time, but
I'm sorry, guys. Somebody's at my front door, but
That's
I'll let
okay.
Tara talk to you
Yeah.
guys.
yes, no problem.
That's okay. We'll just let her deal with her shit. I had fucking phones going off because a beer delivery guy.
I
was
thought
here.
maybe that was the beer guy coming back at your place there.
No, he was phoning me 18 times, which has never happened before. So anyway, the good news, it feels like it's here.
Yeah, that's good service. So I'm happy to hear that they did that. Anyway,
Oh, you can order anything here.
That's
I don't know if
crazy.
I don't know if you can order weed yet, but you can order beer. So
You can order weed here. I think
delivered
and
to
have
your
it
fucking door. Wow.
Yeah, it's called Weed Maps. It's an
Bryce
app on your
will know.
phone.
Bryce will know, but we'll talk about that later on.
Yeah, it's an app on your phone. You can just locate where people are and they'll deliver it to you. Yeah.
Cool.
Apparently.
All right. Well, I want to thank you guys for your time once again. Let's blast that. Get the right one this time, so I don't fuck it up. Listen, running the board and trying to run the show is a hard thing to do. So, ladies and gentlemen,
Yeah.
thank you for watching so far. I want to thank Tara and Tina for being on tonight. I had the privilege to help them out editing episode 1. It's good. It's awesome. Check it out tomorrow. Everything you need to know is on the screen right there. They got a million different handles here, but check it out. They're going to talk about fast cars, sexology, and a bunch of other shit, and I'm really looking forward to it. So Tina's dealing with some fucking. Oh, she's back. Let's get her back in there. There she is.
Sorry
You were
about
worried.
that. I
It's
did
okay.
not have a nightmare neighbor. I had a neighbor delivering me cookies.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
so
nice.
that was
Oh,
very
West
nice. So
Virginia.
sorry, guys, I had to jump off
No,
because
no
they kept
worries.
beating on the door. So
It's all good.
Give me your cookies.
It is all good. I want to thank you guys for your time, and I just plugged you guys once again. Check it out, TNT Podcast. You'll find it on YouTube, and eventually it'll be ported over to your favorite podcast platforms. So a big shout out to the ladies, and I hope we get to do this again.
Thank you, Chris,
And,
so
Thank
much
you.
for having us.
You're
Like
welcome.
seriously, and all your help. Just thank you.
Thank
No problem.
Huge. Yes.
Run your board better than I fucking have been.
Yeah, I
And,
know. Hey, now I'm sitting here thinking, hey, maybe I didn't do it so badly. Or
I'm going to get a guy to do this. It's a lot of work, but thank
It
you very
is, it's
much,
tough
ladies.
shit.
I'll
Thank
let you
you.
go, and we will talk later.
Take care.
All right.
Thank you.
ciao.
Bye bye.
Good night. Gentlemen,
Hiya.
How's it going?
fuck me. Let me get caught up here. I'm going to put you fuckers on screen so I can see what's going on.
Sexy Morgan. Look at you.
I
eh?
do what I can.
Yeah.
I didn't see you earlier today because I wasn't in the mood for questions, and I know you know what I'm talking about.
Absolutely, dude. Yeah. No, that's totally okay.
Yeah.
It was a good coffee break, though.
Yeah, it was actually the one I didn't want to miss, but yeah, I was just kind of. I said I'm gonna sit this one out.
No, absolutely. He actually, Nick said that he is willing to go into the rotation, so you'll actually see Evil Empire clothing every 3 to 4, maybe 5 weeks in the coffee break.
Good.
Veterans in the Edmonton area. So now we're going to have a couple cannabis clinics. We'll have the Veterans Association Food Bank. I'm actually working on a location in Fort Saskatchewan as well. So every other week we'll be able to have a spot in that area to have coffee as well too.
Yeah, I don't know if you've spoken with anybody over at After Dark, but I know they're willing to host as well. And I know,
Nice.
I know Cordell over at After Dark has always been very supportive of
Absolutely.
veterans.
Yeah. And that's where Brad works too, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, that is where Brad works. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I don't think I've approached them. And if I have, I just forgot to get back to them. That's all.
Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah.
Do you guys know anybody who works at fucking that Black Rifle coffee company, the Canada one?
I actually do, believe it or not. Yeah.
Yeah.
Tell them we need sponsors, bro. Come on.
Yeah, because
Okay,
that would be
Yeah.
or anybody who does local coffee in the Edmonton area and wants to get in on those veteran coffee breaks, I would love to talk.
Well, there's also Arrowhead Coffee, which is kind of like Black Rifle, but in Canada. It was started
Because
by
I
a
get
bunch
paid
of,
in beer, right? There's
Right
Post
on.
Brewing Company.
Yeah.
Positive.
Yeah, perhaps. Yeah.
And Bryce, I'm running out of weed. My man Bonzi, who's coming up next, so he smokes more fucking weed than I do in a year, so I'm running out of weed.
I'll see what I can
on.
do.
Well, thanks for jumping on, boys. I know it's the silly season, 10 days till Christmas. We still have some viewers. Thank you guys for tuning in. So the theme tonight, chicks and cars in the Third World War. Colin James song, 1988.
Oh yeah, I know it.
And we covered chicks. Had those two lovely young ladies on with their podcast dropping tomorrow.
Absolutely.
We covered cars. They know more about fucking cars than I'll ever know. And I'm really looking forward to tuning into their shit.
Fast Dodge cars. Yeah, absolutely.
Fast Mopar chicks. Third World War. Well, I know fuck you guys are blowing my phone up with a bunch of Chinese fucking shit and everything like that.
Oh man.
I didn't do
that was all Bryce. That wasn't me.
Yeah. No, man, I like the dig. And when I got my hands on that, I didn't realize that there was actually active concentration camps. And they're calling it re-education camps in China. And they're relocating those that are of Muslim faith. Or, man, you should see some of the restrictions that they're putting out. They actually don't like facial hair either. I'd be fucked in China, man. Anybody that can grow a beard would actually be put in a re-education camp because part of that is a Muslim faith belief and they don't believe in it.
Well, there's a whole bunch of shit going on. There's that.
Yeah.
All the political activists are going to fucking jump in right now. So here's so everybody understands, and this is fucking very nebulous. I just needed to add something because it was part of the song. This is a current map of all current existing Canadian Armed Forces joint exercises and operations worldwide. And of specific, I don't know if you guys can see me move my mouse. You probably can't. If you zoom in towards the Ukraine and the Russian border, there's two, I'm not going to call them major, but operations of interest that are particular to this. And that is Op Reassurance and Operation, what the fuck's it? Unifier.
Unifier, yeah.
Right? So Morgan, you're the only guy who knows what the fuck's going on. You want to talk about those, and then Bryce, you're going to talk about China.
Okay, well, I mean, Reassurance and Unifier. I mean, full disclosure, I'm an Afghan vet, and just because of the positions that I've been in, I haven't deployed on Unifier or Reassurance yet, anyway. But yeah, so Operation Reassurance is a Canadian battle group. So actually, it's like a multinational operation, which is currently in Latvia right now. So I mean, I've got a lot of my friends that have been there. So we'll have the better part of a battle group. But I mean, there's Italians, Spaniards, obviously Latvians. Anybody that's a part of NATO has some type of contribution, some more than others. But yeah, so that's Reassurance in a nutshell. And then Unifier is in Ukraine. And to put it into how like we can understand it, anyway, Unifier is almost a lot like our omelet guys that were in Afghanistan. So we have guys over there that are actually training or embedded with the Ukrainian forces, and they're training them. Now they're not on any type of like front line or anything like that. They're kind of in the rear with the gear at the we'll say like the infantry school, the engineer school, and they're helping to train the future forces of the Ukrainian military.
Okay. Hang on. All right. So yeah. So like if you're not watching the news, and I don't watch the fucking news either, but there's massive Soviet or Soviet. Sorry, I'm dating myself. Russian
potato.
That right. Russian buildup of Russian forces on the border of the Ukraine. There's been arguments over the Crimea. Is it the Crimea? Does that sound right?
Yeah, essentially, yeah.
Yeah, about fucking who owns what, and there's people on the Ukraine side that are siding with Russia. It's very confusing to me. I'll probably get somebody like Trevor on to explain it all. Somebody who's been there, and like I don't know, and until you're there and understand, but fuck, who knows? And then what's Unifier? That's Latvia, right?
No, Reassurance is Latvia. Unifier is Ukraine.
But it's call it what you want. It's several operations to work with the local forces. It's training mission. It's a UN. It's an exercise. There's shit going on in Poland. There was, and that's what that's about. So you have that build up happening on the Russian front, and then Bryce did a lot of research into all the shit going on with China and mentioned it earlier. So let's kind of talk about that, because when you're talking about Russia, and I'm sorry I didn't have time, Bryce, to grab those screenshots, but you're looking at Russia and China kind of fucking having communications, good, bad, or ugly.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm not saying the Third World War is coming. I just needed to add something to the end of this because the motive, or the fucking motif of the pod is the song. So
yeah.
Tell me what you read research today about.
I'm just going to interrupt it.
Go ahead.
Go for it.
No,
I was going to say, from a historical standpoint, the Russians and the Chinese, although the former Soviet Union and the communist Chinese, they haven't exactly been. I mean, they've been friendly is not even the word. I mean, they've been decent with each other, but they haven't really been allies, and they're not exactly friendly with each other. But they do coexist. So I just wanted to throw it out there.
Okay, Bryce, what do you got, buddy?
Okay, well, I took about 45 minutes to do some Googling, and I found myself on YouTube pretty quick. They actually have active concentration camps in China. I know there's rumors of concentration camps or re-education camps or whatever you want to call them being built all over Canada, and there's contract managers and sources that can prove that kind of stuff, right? Even all the way down into the Calgary area. But when it comes back into China, they've actually isolated a certain point of, I can't even start to pronounce the country in itself, but they've now basically segregated it, and it's become a province of China, and it's where a high population of Muslims live, and they now source their illegal sweatshops all over China and some parts into Russia, where even some sources are dropping where Nike has sweat camps, as well as Volkswagen, and the Volkswagen president or CEO even has been questioned, and they're an awareness of what's going on in China. However, they're very selective with what anybody says, even down to the point where a WWE fan or a WWE wrestler made a comment about recent activities in Taiwan being a country in itself. And he had to go back onto his Twitter platform and apologize, not only to the Chinese, but he did it in a fluent like Mandarin language. Like, you can't tell me that something's not being influenced where China is controlling certain things in the background now. And
well, sure they are. And then look at what's going on with Taiwan with blockading shipping lanes. And I know there was a buildup of the U.S. fleets in there.
Oh, they've even
right?
tried to question the WHO. Like, these
Yeah.
world organizations can't even answer any Chinese questions, because as soon as China is brought up, they go like this. They look at their fucking belt buckle and they come back with the reorged words that are put into their ear as,
yeah, they lack the testicular fortitude to answer the fucking questions.
yeah.
And because I don't know why. And
Well,
China's flexing and no one's overly responding. The closest thing to a response to the blockade from the Pacific Rim side is a joint. And I'm paraphrasing here, so everybody bear with me. Australia and the United States reached some submarine fucking deal to patrol that eastern seaboard. Sorry, yeah, it's eastern seaboard, but it's Pacific Rim. And France is all pissy about it because that's what they do. The government. I don't fucking know why. Canada was left out of it. I don't know if the UK's in, but there's activity happening on the east. There's human rights violations regarding Muslims within. I don't know where those guys are. Do you know where that province is, like geographically in China, Bryce?
northeast corner. Let me pull. I got a screenshot of the actual province and area that I blew up everybody's phone with earlier.
And that makes sense because when I was my first tour in Afghanistan, I operated 100 kilometers from the Chinese border in a place called Faizabad. So obviously that intersection of all those countries in northeastern Afghanistan would. You sure it's not northwest?
Possibly.
Hang on, I'll zoom you in as best I can.
Sorry, guys, that's all I got right
now.
Yeah.
So it's up in the top left, right?
Yeah. It's the same area as you'd find like Kazakhstan and all the rest.
Yeah. Well, that's exactly. Yeah. If you look at a map of Afghanistan, not to turn it into that, but the northeastern tip of Afghanistan interconnects with China, and what people need to understand is these fucking borders drawn on a map by the Brits 100 years ago don't mean anything. They're tribal, and those tribal influences from 10 borders. So that's obviously going to be a huge issue. So do you think
they're recognized by major forces in the Americas and Europe, but to those people who've been fighting for 3,000 years, they don't care what those lines say.
Nope, they do not. So, do you think there'll be a third world war? Well, that's a loaded question. This is how we're going to wrap it up. We're going to wrap it up. I think I'll leave you this. I'm going to change your train of thought. I think the third world war will be akin to the Cold War, but it'll be an economic war. That's what I think.
Yeah, agreed. I agree 100%. I don't think anybody's got the stomach. I don't think anybody's got the balls for old school, heavy metal warfare,
Not
like
a-
we just seen with between the Armenians and and Azerbaijan. I mean, people just don't have the stomach for it. It's not going to happen, like you said. It's going to be economic. It's going to be political. It's going to be like another Cold War.
Yeah, well, we're already seeing it as well, where the government is putting mandates over top of citizens, and I'm not just talking Canada. You're seeing it all over the world. Europe is in riots right now because some countries are sick and tired of being tied down with mandates. If you do a little research on that portion of that country, and it links back into the Taiwanese, where does all of the masks come from? All the masks that are right on our face are from that area of the world, and they're made in sweatshops controlled by the Chinese, and they're pimping out these Muslim prisoners. And that is where every single mask is brought back to. Other sweatshops in other parts, of course, but there's also spots where everybody knows it. Everybody sees it. That's the worst part. Nike. You've got companies like Volkswagen, and they all know about it. But as soon as they're called on it, everybody kind of does this. Yeah, China.
Yeah, but they're not going to start fucking World War III.
No, because it's already done.
I really think it'll be. I really feel like it'll be an economical version through sanctions and all that other shit. Now, we got to wrap this up because my man Bonzi needs to use the studio for his show. I want to thank you guys for jumping on, and I just got hit with something. Morgan, if you ever get your own pod, bro, it's got to be called Heavy Metal Warfare with Morgan Warren.
Yeah.
I was going to call myself the Blue Rocketeer. I thought that was
you need to do that too.
Yeah, heavy metal warfare featuring the Blue Rocketeer.
Yeah. That's your next Halloween costume, Morgan.
Yeah.
Here it is.
Sean hung in. Let's.
Yeah, that's true too.
Well, that's a good point. Nobody thought the Balkans would kick off. Anyways,
and the Balkans are heating up again,
boys.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'll get at you guys. We'll figure out. We got one more before Christmas.
Absolutely.
And then we'll take a little lull in the firefight and see when we're going to come back on. Come up with some topics. I want to kind of go down the road that Bryce was on tonight and get into that shit, but it won't be tonight. And I have to plug my sponsors because I fucked it up on the front end. You put two hot chicks in front of me and I just lose my mind. So that's what happened. So I'll let you guys break contact. And I will talk to you fucking cats fucking later.
All right.
Later. Ciao, gents. I want to thank everybody for tuning in tonight. Hope you enjoyed it and all my fuck ups. I'm still learning how to use this and run everything. That's more guests than I've ever had at one time. Fire for Effect and Fire for Effect Live are brought to you by the Dean Blundell Network. Check out deanblundell.com for Canada's largest digital source of news, sports, and podcasts. You can find my podcast there and a fuck ton of other ones. Go to deanblundell.com. Brought to you by Positive Mike's Brewing Company. Positive Mike makes awesome beer. I know this because he just dropped a whole bunch off and filled my fridge down in the garage the other day. Right now, you can get the gear, but you can't get the beer, but he's working on that. So check out Positive Mike's Brewing Company. Also brought to you by Mr. Hooper, Inc., which is Bryce's outfit. If you're looking for education on cannabis culture, not necessarily culture, but cannabis is an alternative to traditional fucking medicine, which they keep trying to feed pills to everybody. And alternative sources of medicine, get a hold of Bryce, Mr. Hooper Inc. And one more sneak peek before we go. We never got to this. Our Stolen Valor Poser of the Week. I'm going to save him for next week. We just ran out of time, and I'm sorry about that. But check out stolenvalor.ca. You can read about all of them on the Hall of Shame. I would be remiss if I did not give a shout out to promote yet another podcast. My man, Mr. James P. White from 95.7 Cruise FM, The Locker Room, also the host of the James P. White Experience, not ready for prime time, really fucking late at night on Friday and Saturdays. has his own podcast coming out for all you Star Wars nerds out there, where Jimmy will be reviewing the upcoming Disney Plus show called The Book of Boba Fett. You'll see it every week on Thursdays. It's called the Jedi Jimmy Podcast. We just finished recording it. We just finished editing it and polishing it all up. That will also drop tomorrow. Check out the Jedi Jimmy Podcast, not the Jumpin' Jimmy Podcast. And learn all about what's going to be happening with Boba Fett. If you're a fucking super Star Wars nerd, you need to check this shit out. That's all I got. Thanks for hanging in. Thanks for putting up with all the technical bullshit. Check out Tarantina, the TNT podcast, if you want to learn about cars and sexology. Check out Jimmy's podcast if you want to learn about Star Wars nerd shit. And stay tuned for my show, Fire for Effect Live, next week, same time. It'll be Wednesday at 1800 Mountain Standard. Have a good night. Stay warm. And I am fucking out.